If you were to do a survey 5 years ago and you were to ask someone, how many times a day do you go online? They would probably have a number that they could give you. You ask a 13-year-old person how many times they go online a day, it's an impossible question to answer. What are the next channels and where is distributed commerce going to go? I think the cliche is the opportunities are really endless. If you had said 2 years ago that your shoes would be connected to the internet, your car, these things that were once novelties are really becoming commonplace.
We think of the world kind of within 3 buckets as to basic points of distributed commerce, and there's different players in each of those different points. The first is what we think of as consumer aggregators, one component of which are traditional social platforms, say like Facebook. Another within that same categorization is we think of messaging. It could be maybe a one-to-many, a unique messaging, or more traditional one-to-one messaging like a WhatsApp or a WeChat. And all of these channels can consist of a place where consumers gather together and there can be reached kind of en masse in one way. That's why we think of the consumer aggregators. But a second is the advent of different types of experiences that a consumer has, not just in the 2D digital world. And here's where you get things like Internet of Everything, where I can react with a device that can be commerce enabled. This is also where we think of as virtual reality, augmented reality. Very significant investments are being made kind of in these areas to enable these 3-dimensional experiences for consumers, all of which can ultimately have a commerce element. And the third, unfortunately for many, is advertising, right? I mean, it's an immediate way in which, from a product advertising perspective, when you're given information about the thing, the effectuation of your experience with that from the advertisers or say the merchant's perspective is you buy that thing. If we think of what's the specific tactical pain points that a retailer experiences in trying to deal with the different points of distributed commerce is, one, by definition, they're distributed. So if you think of the complexity that a retailer needs to deal with, it's, well, now I'm not only dealing with how I handle merchandising and transacting in a store and on my website and on a mobile device for consumer, I'm also now figuring out how I interact with the consumer to do those transactional experiential elements on a messaging platform or on a social platform or on a marketplace or on a virtual reality VR gear headset. How do I manage all that? And that's not to do the big commercial thing from a Demandware point of view, but that is where a technology platform like ours can add a tremendous amount of value, because one, we can be the central control panel or place from which a merchant can manage all these different distributed commerce points.
We're uniquely positioned as this enterprise-focused cloud platform that's really focused on an API set and a distribution model that allows you to take the tools and adapt them to whatever that next trend is.
It's not just about distributed commerce. The fact that we can help you achieve success in distributed commerce is just indicative of the reasons that we can help you achieve success overall.